Yeah, you listening right now. Welcome to Zach Chat. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, my name is Zachary Hall. Welcome to the first episode of my podcast called Zach Chat. I hope you're all having a great day. Mine is actually going really good. It's actually going pretty long, but it's still nice. It's a nice long. It's not too long where you're like, I'm done with this day. I need it to be over. It's tedious. Please stop. But no, yeah, I'm just want to go ahead and have this first episode serve as half introductions and have something else that I'll get to later on, because you don't want to just be listening to somebody that you know nothing about. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about me, what I'm about, what I like, my favorite things. And we're going to tell you what this podcast is going to be about, and then we're going to jump into the other thing later on at the end of the podcast. Okay, like I said before, I'm Zachary Hall. I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised. Never lived anywhere else until I got to college. Now I live in Huntsville. It's cool, like crisp country air. It's a little cold. It's all good. That was all good. My favorite color is blue. It's always been blue, but specifically a nice pastel or light blue. One, because I just think it's such a beautiful color. Two, because it looks great on me. I really pop and look good in a blue shirt. Just gonna leave that out there. All right, so my favorite food would have to be pizza. I know it's a little, but I do have a more refined palate. I eat a lot of different foods, but my favorite go-to, just straight up, I can eat all day. That's some wings and some fries. Pizza is my first love. I blame it on the Ninja Turtles, so I grew up watching them. So I gotta have me some pizza. You can eat that for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some cold pizza really is the best though. You ain't never had some cold pizza early in the morning for breakfast. It hits differently than anything else. I be putting like ranch and hot sauce on it, and that's another thing. Ranch. I don't eat ranch on what it's intended to, so I never put my ranch on vegetables. I don't like how thick of a salad dressing it is, so I don't use it on my vegetables. I don't feel like it's for stuff like that, so I'll leave it for my pizza or my wings or my fries or whatever else I feel ranch goes on that. I like a nice balsamic vinegar, something light, a nice vinaigrette to go on my salads, because ranch on salads is just not it for me. My favorite dessert though would have to be banana pudding, hands down. So if you can make a mean banana pudding, we can be friends forever. Like forever. Cause I will go tooth and nail for some good banana pudding, bro. Like real talk. Ooh, but a strong second would have to be some cheesecake. I do a lot of things for some strawberry marble cheesecake or a good New York style. Ooh, don't get me started on some truffle type. Let's stop talking about it. Another thing that I really love is anime and cartoons. I'm a huge anime cartoon fan. That's most of what I've watched. Growing up as an only child until later on when I got a stepsister, there's not a lot of stuff to do but watch TV to entertain yourself. So that's what I did a lot of the times. I'm talking about when Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon were in their primes. When Warner Brother had cartoons coming on at Saturday in the morning, so you went ahead and hurried up, had you some cereal, had you a little table tray, and you sat there and you watched those Saturday morning cartoons. You just big chilling. That was me. I was that guy. I do that a lot. Some of the cartoons that I watch now, my favorite would have to be Bob's Burgers. I love me some Bob's Burgers. That's a show where you can just keep watching the episodes. They don't get old no matter how old they are. I can watch them like they just came out. So I know there's some episodes that I've seen a good 30, 40 times plus, just because I just love having it on. I just love the animation. I love the characters. It's a hilarious show that I would recommend anybody to watch. I love Steven Universe. That's a show on Cartoon Network. It's some of the last great shows on it, along with Adventure Time, shows like that. And like I said before, I'm a big anime fan, so my favorite anime would have to be Naruto Shippuden. I know it's a little cliche, but that's what I grew up on. That's what I love. The new shows that I love now is like, I love me some Boku no Hero. That is an amazing show that is gonna rise to a high level. Other shows like Yo Yo Hakusho. Anything Studio Ghibli is genius and beautiful, and I recommend to everybody to go watch it right now, because you can't tell me that Spirited Away didn't put you in your feelings. My Neighbor Totoro, any of those, they were all good. Ponyo? Nah, that's a movie. That is a good movie right there. So I love me some anime. But we can get off that subject for right now because I could go on for hours talking about anime, and I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to hear that right now. Maybe we'll save that for another podcast or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure nobody wants to hear me just go Naruto Sasuke for like 2 hours or something like that. But I promise if I do, it won't be that long. I promise you. I promise you. Another subject. I'm getting off track. Yeah, so let's talk about my love for the arts and music and poetry and writing and things of that nature because that has been something in my life for a very long time. I remember being told that when I was 2 and 3, I would stand in the choir with my mother and direct alongside her because she was a choir director for my dad's church. And so, yeah, things like that have always influenced me, and I've always had a love for music. I'm 5 years old, going to the library, checking out poetry books. I don't remember what I was checking out. I just remember I was checking out poetry books. And I'll tell y'all about that in a whole nother podcast when we can just go ahead and talk about the arts and things of that nature. But that's just a funny story. That's just something that I've always done. That is just a love of mine. Also, if you're really into poetry as well, you can go ahead and follow me on social media. My Instagram is iam.zach. My Twitter is iamZacharyHall because why would you want to follow the person that you're listening to? Also, I post this thing called hashtag Well Written Wednesdays. I typically do it on Wednesdays, of course. Yes, be sure to put that S on the end of Wednesdays. That makes a whole lot of difference when you're going to look for something. I just post poetry or things that I've written, artistic stuff like that. You could go ahead and add stuff on there too with the hashtag on a Wednesday. I would love that. I actually recommend for everybody to go ahead and hop on the wave so it's a community of artists just getting their stuff seen by a common hashtag that we all share in common. Alright, so that's enough about me. You pretty much know all you need to know, or everything that you could know, pretty much. So if you see me on social media or in person, just say, hey, what's up, Zach? I seen your podcast. Yeah, because we're pretty much besties now because you know a lot. I mean, a lot. That is a plethora of information about me. So you can use that however you choose. Anyway, let me go ahead and start talking about the podcast and what I wanted this to be about. As you can tell, I like to talk. I like to hear myself talk and think out loud a lot. When I was younger, I would get in trouble all the time in school for talking because I would finish my work and then talk to the other kids. So they even would try things to give me more work, but I would always finish that and talk to whoever I pleased because I just refused to be silence. And I realize now that I've always had something important to talk about, so I'm going to use this podcast, my platform, as a way to talk about important topics and address what needs to be spoken upon, the social injustices in the world. We could talk about things like racism, sexism, xenophobia, ethnocentrism, whatever you want to hear. You could go ahead and send in suggestions and I will go ahead and do some research on it myself, better myself up on these topics because I love learning new things. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is what hinders us and holds us back as a society, as a community, as a world. And we need to start learning and growing in order to achieve the desired goals that we seek out. And that concludes the first half of this podcast. Let me go ahead and jump into that second half I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast that you were probably waiting for this whole time to listen to, or maybe you just wanted to hear interesting facts about me, and if you did, I love you for that. You'll always have my heart tier. Anyway, now I'm finna recommend to you guys some artists and musicians. These are all artists and music that I hold near and dear to my heart. These are people who have helped me in times of depression or anxiety. They have kept me mellow and have kept me centered and down to the universe from whence I came. So, without further ado, let me kick this list off with one of my top 5 favorite artists. She is from Houston and her name is Nicotine. I actually had the pleasure of meeting her last December, and when I tell you she is the sweetest, kindest, most nice person that I've just met, and I can get all that from what I've seen on social media and just interacting with her in those few moments. When I tell you she is a sweetheart, she is a sweetheart. She has a tape called An Open Letter that she performed with a group called Nicotine's Famous Honey that consists of Hunter Lewis, Ian Alney. I really hope that I said that correctly. And of course, herself, Nicotine. She is a poet, a singer, and if you go onto her Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you will see that her fashion sense is superb. She never has a bad outfit. So that's just another plus in and of itself. She is also a fantastic writer and plays not many musicians. She doesn't play musicians. She is a musician. She plays instruments. Y'all, I cannot talk today for some reason. But anyway, back on track. The introductory song to the tape called An Open Letter that she has with him is called An Open Letter. Is a poem that she wrote. When I tell you, you can feel every ounce of essence within it. You can tell that this is real life. You can tell that her words, she means that. You can feel the passion and the pain and the love within every word that she says, and that's just through all her songs, whether it be something that's really upbeat and happy like Bantu Nice and Booty, oh that's my song, or something like The First Time or Pull Up. She just makes beautiful music overall that is this R&B and soul, and sometimes a little doo-wop. She'll throw that in there, and she of course does the poetry. That she's an amazing artist that I will recommend that you all go ahead download right now. P.S. All the artists that I'm finna list right now are all on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever. You don't have an excuse. You can find them. You can listen to them. The next artist that I'm going to talk about is Toby Lou, a hip-hop and rap artist from Chicago. He doesn't get that much notice. He's not like on the TV or anything like that, but I know he is, or he did do a tour with Kyle, so that's something to point out. Or he's not on the radio that much that I know of. However, he did get a lot of recognition from Twitter last year with one of his songs called Buff Baby. If you saw it, it was an homage to the Adventure Time episode where Finn was a little baby. You know, I'm a buff baby, but I dance like a man. Yeah, that song is just really good, and he does stuff like that a lot. He has this cartoon, nostalgic essence to his sound, and he has this playful, lighthearted sound that you really just love listening to and you can really groove to, even if the lyrics are not necessarily happy in and of themselves. It reminds me of Hey Ya by Andre 3000. If you really listen to those lyrics, it's sad, and he even makes mention of, y'all don't want to hear me, y'all just want to dance. And you can get that feeling in a lot of Toby Lou's stuff. Even in one of the songs, Birthday Boy, he literally says, you would think that I was happy, but I'm not. Nah, that's crazy, but I'm over here just dancing like, yeah, I'm not happy. But I'm just dismissing the fact that, hey, this guy's probably going through something. He's a little upset. But yeah, that's Toby Lou. Let me go ahead and jump into the third artist. Her name is Umi. She is an R&B and soul singer. I accidentally stumbled upon her, y'all. She was born in Seattle. Like I said before, I cannot talk today. But let me get back on track. She is LA based now, and she has this beautiful tone that is just pure. And she sounds in live how she sounds on her recordings. Like, I've seen videos of her, and that is something to love, because today's day and age, all this auto-tune, all these effects, people do not sound how they sound in person. People don't train for it. People ain't got it. People ain't got the range. But this is somebody who actually has this sound, has this beauty to it. She actually dropped a song in a video last week called High School that I would recommend that a lot of y'all check out, because she's in like my age range, 18, 19, or maybe 20. I'm not specifically sure how old she is, but she makes real music that you can reminisce and think about, like, hey, that can apply to my life, or I agree with that. That is something that I totally went through. Another thing that I love about her music is how calm and mellow it is. It is something that, yes, you can listen to and enjoy, but it's also music that you can play in the background and not get distracted. You know how some songs you cannot play in the background and try to study, because next thing you know, you on top of your bed screaming at the top of your lungs, just dancing, wilding out, because that's your song, that's your jam. Nah, this is a nice, calm, mellow, something that you can play and you can calm and you can be relaxed. You can play this in the car, you can center yourself, and it's just beautiful and lovely. All right, the next artist I'm going to talk about is, I really hope that This is called Blue because it's spelled Bleu, but it may be pronounced something totally different. I wasn't able to find them on Instagram or Twitter or even Googling them. I really couldn't find them, but I accidentally stumbled upon them on Apple Music. Like I said before, I can't talk. I really can't spell. I accidentally spelled something wrong, and that's how I found them. And so I started listening to them. They have R&B, soul, hip hop type vibe to it. They have this tape called Codeine Dreams, and when I tell you, it is superb, it is beautiful. I love every song on there. I can dance to it, I can vibe to it, I can just put it on, go to sleep. It is beautiful, superb. Check it out. That's Bleu. You can find that on Apple Music, SoundCloud. Go ahead, do yourself a favor and put them in your playlist. The next artist that I'm going to talk about is, really do not want to butcher this name, but I cannot pronounce it. It is Arima Edera. That is Arima Edera. I really think I butchered that. But she is an alternative indie artist, and you can really hear that a lot in her music. It is free flowing. It is really sending yourself back down to the universe. You can vibe to it. It is something that can really overtake you when you're just calm. It is a calm and steady, constant motion that keeps you flowing. You play this when you're in the shower, late night drive, when you just need to get back down to earth, when everything in your day has been going wrong. You can just play this and you can just calm yourself with some of her great songs like Free Again or Artist Addiction, In My Garden. These are just songs that can really center you and get you on focus. So I would really recommend her. Go ahead, please look her up, put her in your playlist. All right, this next artist I'm going to talk about, if Twitter or Instagram has not bullied you, or the radio has not bullied you into downloading this artist, looking this artist up, then you really just don't know good music. Because if you don't have Summer Walker in your playlist, you doing yourself a huge injustice. Her beautiful R&B soul sound is pure. This is another person who sounds how she sounds in person when she does on her music online. So yeah, nothing better than a great live performer. She reminds me of the R&B that our parents grew up on, because the R&B back then is different from the R&B now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. They grew up on a lot of Baby Makers, songs that you play at 2 a.m, stuff that you play at your wedding. You can go ahead and just truly feel the love and the essence within that. And the music that we have now is more of a rhythm and vibe. It's missing the blues aspect of it, and I've said this multiple times to various people, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I personally love this new rhythm and vibes. I love it, and I play it all the time, and I don't see a problem with it. I'm just saying that it's missing the blues. It's missing that sadness that tears and wears on your heart. It pulls out the emotion. It got you sitting in your bed at 2 a.m. like, I ain't even mean to cry. I don't know. I ain't want to be crying. I just wanted a pizza. Now you just crying in your bed, thinking about the ex that left you 3 years ago. You thinking about how McDonald's got your order wrong yesterday, and you just crying. You just sad for no reason, just because you put on some Summer Walker. Amazing artist though. Check her out. Please do. This next artist, another artist I kind of discovered on accident. Not really, I guess. His name is Dear Salas. One thing that I have to say, a lot of people try to make anime references in their music, and they do a poor, weird, corny job of doing it. So a lot of people are turned away from him, and they're like, shut up, I don't want to listen to you. You sound like a cornball. You sound like a weeaboo. You nerd. Back up. But I feel that he does a pretty good job of doing so, because he makes a lot of anime references, but they seem seamless. And I, for one, enjoy them because he knows what he's talking about, and he executes it fairly well. He is a hip-hop artist and a rapper. He sings too, he has a pretty good voice. I'm not gonna lie. He has this raw sound that when you listen to him, it's as if he's right there next to you. So I love that. So I can tell that, okay, this is how you probably sound in real life. This is you. I can feel it. You may have actually heard about him without thinking about it. If you were on Twitter, like last year, towards the end of the year, you saw the Dexter meme going around when the girl was like, "Oh, say it again, Dexter," and then you heard "skr skr." That was him, y'all. That was "skr skr." I'ma pull up on your chick. Like, yes, I said, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and check this joint out because this song hits. I need to see who wrote this. And so then I checked Apple Music, and that's all I played for like a week straight was nothing but that song, bro. I swear every morning, every night, all I heard was skr skr. Yeah, love it. Love it. And last but surely not least, if you know me, you probably know who I'm finna talk about. I had to plug it in here. She's finally getting some of the recognition she deserves, but she needs all of that and then some. This is my all-time favorite artist. Number one will fight tooth and nail for and behind her. And her name is Noname. She is a rapper, y'all, from Chicago, and she is one of the best. Will go down in history as one of the best, I guarantee you. So you need to go ahead and hop on the Noname train before people start calling you a bandwagger, and you just have to deal with all that. You a fake fan, blah, 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 blah. Like, people can't jump onto new music whenever they want to, but I'm just telling you, please put her in your playlist right now. She is an independent artist, so by us consistently showing her love and support, she is able to do what she is able to do. She is so talented. She didn't grow up listening to music like everybody else really did. She was with her grandparents and they would play like R&B or soul or jazz and stuff like that. So that's what she grew up on, really. And she read a lot. She was in the library all the time, reading. So you can hear how she has been influenced by things like that because she is truly a poet at heart. I can hear it. She even won third in Chicago's annual Louder Than a Bomb competition, y'all. That just showcased how good of a writer she is. She can write in a world full of people who are not giving credit to writers and not giving credit to fantastic lyrics. She is truly someone who deserves all the credit and then some. She has two beautiful tapes, one called Room 25 that came out last September, and then she has a tape called Telephone. This is the tape that changed my life. I actually have a tattoo in honor of this tape on my arm because of what it has done for me. It got me out of a dark place, deep depression, whatever I was going through at that time was elevated and lifted up from because of her. She is truly fantastic. My favorite song by her is All I Need. It just talks about love and how at the end of the day, that's truly all we need to survive. We don't need to worry about anything else much. Telephone is just a collection of telephone conversations that she had with other people, so you can hear that real life aspect in it. Room 25 was so beautiful and so well constructed. This is a project that she financed and spearheaded it herself. Of course, she had help, but she was the one 100% behind it because, like I said before, she is an independent artist, so she's working for herself, y'all. She out here doing it herself, and I love to see black women winning and succeeding. So we gotta continue showing her love and continue showing her support so she can keep doing what she does, making beautiful songs like Don't Forget About Me, a prayer song, Ace that had Saba and Smino on it. Saba, did I say Saba? I meant Saba. I'm tripping. Like I said, I cannot speak today. But anyway, y'all, I got mad love for Noname, and she has just done so much for me, and I cannot wait to see her in concert because I know that will truly be a beautiful experience. And that concludes Zach Chat with Zachary Hall. Thank you for listening to the first episode. Please be back to listen to more. Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your